Go.
What?
Do the thing.
Okay. So regarding authenticity in ENTPs and the use of FP and FI to present an authentic self, I kind of wonder if ENTPs even have the capacity to fabricate that or make it an authentic self. If we don't really have any FI. It's our blind spot. So if we've got no FI, we've got FE in our third slot. It's the childish brat function. It's, I mean, do we even have the tools necessary to create a self to present that is separate from our self?
In other words, maybe if we have no thing made out of FI to compare against, how do we know if it's authentic or not? The facsimile might be the only thing that's there.
I mean, yeah, so if FE is the only thing that's there, that's it. Then
Except it's not the only thing that's there. It's just that,
the only thing that we're aware of.
well, here's the thing. You're aware of it sometimes, like you were the other day with when you were hanging with your daughter
Mhm.
and you felt it. I'm aware of it increasingly, but it's in flashes. It's in a moment of coming online and seeing everybody and realizing, oh, it's nice to see everybody. These are my friends. I like these people. The sort of things that I wouldn't have paused to note ever, ever. It was one of those things that I would take for granted. Like, uh, well, of course we're hanging out and partying because fuck yeah, and yeah, this is great, and I'd value the experience. I'd value the woo, yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily valuing it. I like the excitement part, I like the adrenaline part, but I wouldn't value the parts that I did value but didn't take time to note.
So, I mean, I know what you're talking about. I guess I just almost thought of it as preemptive SI or something. Like nostalgia before it's there.
Free nostalgia.
Right. But that's such a small, that's, I mean, that feeling of that mode of being is such a small part of our day to day life that to say that that is the authentic ENTP is sort of missing it. It seems like it's sort of missing the point. Or
Well,
it's dishonest almost to the way that ENTPs function.
okay, and that is kind of the core of it is trying to judge us according to that metric. First of all, that what I was trying to get at with the thing I was talking with you about the taxonomy of it is you can break down the way the different types evaluate authenticity differently. So I've noted that, for example, Susie is quite caught up on, or makes note of, or calls me out on if she hears me contradicting myself from a previous occasion. She doesn't like that at all. That brings to her as inauthentic of me, fundamentally inauthentic, because the TI authenticity metric. So for her, my displays that are more subtle don't really have any impact. Uh,
I think that we're the same way ultimately, for sure. I mean, I know I am for sure.
in terms of, uh,
I judge authenticity in a very TI fashion, and have. I mean, I feel like I've kind of mastered it. But one of the things that I remember working on consciously in life is being consistent, at least in my beliefs, or yeah.
bro, okay,
That,
I wanna go a little forward because I think we each I want to get into a certain point the difference between authenticity, consistency, and then of course legitimacy. Like I might think somebody's being authentic in their inconsistency or inauthentic in their inconsistency. That's the difference between a troll and an idiot.
So then authenticity is it shifts with the subject. An authentic INTP is going to be way different than an authentic ISFP.
Right, necessarily. Um, but the authenticity, well, in the instance of the troll, you're talking about honesty of intent, right? Like they're presenting things dishonestly, intending you to be perceiving them as one thing, but really meaning the other way, so they can pull the rug out from under you or something. Anyway, that's what that kind of presentation is. But in general, authenticity is it is your evaluation, your evaluatory metric of the other person, your preferred metrics. But I think we underestimate the extent to which we judge others on non TI methods. So I think we have very intuitive judgments of other people that, for me anyway, I don't feel are particularly TI based. I don't explain why I've decided what I decided about that person. I don't explain it to myself or anybody else, really. I just decide what I decide about them.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I look at that as something aside from authenticity, but it's probably. I mean, they cross over. I know what you're talking about. I do that for sure. I don't even try to TI it.
Right. But, it's like I
It's
might, and I evaluate them on different metrics. Like I might say, well, this person is, I can put this much weight on their judgment in this area. They're prone to doing this. I can ignore shit they say about this. And in that sense, it's kind of like a TE or SE information processing metric that's not really caring about them at all, but just parsing through their ideas.
I mean, I think that it's any to some extent. I think that any can recognize any, and you can look at a person and you can almost see their intention. It's FE, but it's also any because it's intent.
All right, except for a couple people. And those people, I just am like, okay, I'm confused.
I mean, maybe mine's a little bit more refined.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, I, I, I put it this way: I can always tell when somebody is trying to scam me or something. The kind of shit I'm susceptible to, I didn't get scammed like that thing with the channel thing, right? Not like somebody was like, hey, and I left when they robbed me blind. It was like I let in the crazy person, not the evil person.
It's, yeah,
or
crazy. Something
crazy enough.
that
Sorry.
that's because that's through a TI filter though, because you're looking for incentive.
Right.
The lack of incentive, you assume goodwill, which is logical if you assume that people also aren't fucking crazy.
Well, introverted feeling can make you a little crazy. I've been made a little crazy a few times by introverted feeling in recent history. A few different times I can think of when I got crazy because, well, I began valuing with my introverted feelings certain things. Now, it should be noted that introverted feeling is not very logical.
Hmm.
It doesn't check for consistency with other metrics. It just says, meh.
It doesn't really check with anything else at all. It's just fuck all you other functions. I'm here.
I'm here. I'm throwing a tantrum, and nobody's gonna stop me.
And I didn't let you know I was coming.
Hello, it's tantrum time. I'm fussy. I tried. I swear. I say to myself every time I do that shit. I'm like, Eric, you got to be on the lookout for this shit. You cannot let this shit happen again.
Yeah.
It always catches me by surprise. It's like,
The worst is things that are that if you get mad, if someone pisses you off, but you're surprised about it. Like if you're in the middle of doing something, generous or whatever, if you're being nice and you don't foresee any sort of a negative response, and then you get a negative response, it's just
well, I mean, it took me a while to get mad. In the recent incident, it often does. It takes me a couple days to go like, hey, hey, hey. Sometimes it does shit like that because especially if it happens in the process of a long discursive event, I tend to get lost in the flow. I stop
like,
remembering the big picture. It's like I know I'm eventually going to get to my main point once I've got her walked down to this fucking place, and I'm going to
I
spend
know
hours walking her there before I even get to my point.
it's hard to accept that some people can just not color in between the lines, no matter what, mentally. Like how people can't get it, but I'm telling you from a divorce, my divorce was filled with that shit. You can't beat anyone with a logic stick like
I mean, she needs to be not her, but anybody in the world who does that shit, right? Needs to be sat down and walked through the chain. I mean, they need to be said, okay, we aren't leaving this room until I have got you fixed. That means you're going to be completely broken and compliant and walking through this with me like a little kid who's trying to get an A on a test. I am tired of any pushback from you. I'm tired of any fight from you. We're going to walk you through this shit. Now it's enough.
that. But you understand that's like an INFP or an ISFP saying, Eric, you're going to sit there until can predict, can see coming, and understand what to do with all your feelings. Until you're good at introverted feeling, we're not leaving this room.
I don't need somebody to be good at TI. I don't need nobody needs me to be good at FI. People do need me to be human enough that if somebody near me is hurt badly, I don't laugh on an FB level, and that I actually not feel happy about it unless it's really funny. But
Falling. You ever seen a woman break a heel?
uh,
It's one of the asshole things that's hilarious.
the thing is, I've never liked to watch any of those people falling down kind of videos or anything like that. I don't like to see people hurt themselves. It makes me feel awful and like sympathetic. Anyway, the point is, I genuinely would feel very bad if I saw somebody near me undergo something unpleasant or difficult, like getting hit by a car or something. Then I'd feel bad if they were really if there was a lot of indication of pain or something. I might not really feel anything.
No, I'm just talking about falling over.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I'm saying, look, this is one way to distinguish between authentic and not authentic. It's like we do have FI. If we see something super sad, we're gonna feel all sad about it, and we're gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's so fucked up," and we're gonna get all mad about it. Those are actual authentic reactions where we're engaging with it on a purely empathy, feeling, valuing, non-rational way.
and if you want me to be authentic about something, from time to time I get asked what you're like in real life or off the show or whatever, and I always say, "He's Eric, he's like he is." But the one thing that I've questioned the authenticity of is your empathy or your sympathy, whichever one applies. I'm still not sure on it.
The thing is,
You might.
here's the thing, Taylor. When people question me on shit like that or give me indications that whatever, I like to give the enigmatic smile. It goes like this or something like that. It's so evocative and it's so expressive. And God, he must really be knowing what's going on now. He definitely knows what's going on. He
Definitely doesn't.
because he gave an enigmatic smile.
Mystery's good sometimes.
Yeah. But you know what? You can't have an enigmatic smile without an enigma. You can't have an enigma without a riddle. And you can't have a riddle without a possible solution looming off into the future for you, still yet to be found, still to be chased, still to be wondered about forevermore.
I don't think either of us will ever know the complete answer to that.
We can't. Is it knowable? We're gonna keep being trailblazers, looking for
Future
it.
AI. That brings us right back around to where we started. That's some great framing. We didn't
Yeah.
get off on it because we can't ever know because FI and FE and shit.
There you go. And thus it was, thus it shall be, and thus forevermore. Amen, amen. Yelor rises again.